So I personally think one of the greatest lessons that Zig Ziglar ever taught was the fact that you can have everything in your life that you want. You just help enough people get what it is that they want. And you see, most people, they need to hear this. They need to understand it. And then they need to go right back to doing the complete opposite of what they're doing on a day-to-day basis. You see, because here's what most people that I've seen actually do. They wake up every single morning and they're asking overall inward questions. Questions like, how can I make more money this month? Questions like, how can I get more leads? How can I hit my overall metrics? How can I understand my overall numbers? How can I close a particular deal? And every question that they're asking is pointing overall at themselves. You see, every focus is on what they can extract from the world around them. And I think the cool thing about Zig Ziglar is that he looked at this specifically and at the way that most people operate, and he said, look, you've got this overall mindset completely backwards. And this isn't just the overall motivational talk that you're typically used to hearing. This is overall behavior economics that Zig is all about. This is human psychology intertwined. This is how the overall marketplace actually works. You see, there's a fundamental law in business that most people never learn because they're too busy chasing the overall short-term microwave overall result of I want it now, now, now. You see, the value precedes the overall revenue. And it's important to understand that always, not just sometimes, not usually, but overall always, because the money that you earn from another human being is a direct reflection of the overall value that you've created for that human being. That's it. That's the overall entire equation towards overall success. And so when you try to earn money without first creating overall value, you're asking to be paid before you've done any of the work. And the marketplace overall, it just doesn't work that way. You see, the marketplace is ruthlessly efficient, and I've learned that myself. It rewards value and it punishes the absence of value in itself. And Zig understood this over decades before it became the overall business school curriculum that I've had the privilege of learning and implementing in today's time. So let's make this more concrete. Let's make this more understood, because the theory without the overall application is just overall entertainment, you watching me and just enjoying this. So think about the best salesperson that you've ever encountered in your overall life. Not the most aggressive, not the most polished, the overall best. The one who actually earned your overall trust when selling you a particular product or service. Ask a couple questions. What were they doing? How they were pitching? Because overall they weren't pitching, they were overall listening. They weren't presenting, they were diagnosing the overall problem that you had to derive a solution. They weren't focused on their overall commission at the time. They were focused on your overall problem. They made you feel like they were on your side of the dinner table. And that's not a technique, that's a philosophy. And it's exactly what Zig Ziglar was talking about. You see, the best salespeople, they're not trying to sell you. They're trying to solve. And solve creates the overall safe, naturally, without pressure, without manipulation type of sales tactic to best understand product to then derive solution. So the same principle overall to myself applies to leadership. You see, most people think that leadership is about overall authority. It's about a specific title. It's about who has the power in the overall room. And you see, Zig would tell you that that's not overall leadership. That's management. And the best way as to understand this is having a specific ego. Now, the greatest leaders in overall history, as well as in business, as well as in the military, as well as in overall communities, you see, they weren't asking what they could get from the people that they led. They were asking what they could give. I think that's very important to understand. You see, they were removing obstacles. They were developing people. They were pouring into their overall teams before their teams ever poured back into them. Does that make sense? And then overall, what happens? Those teams ran through absolute freaking walls for them. Not because they were told to, but it's because they wanted to, because they believed in their leader and how he was leading it. That is the overall compounded interest of serving people at the highest level. And I'll be the first to tell you, within the roofing industry, within this business, specifically in the roofing business, this is the distinction of everything that you know about leadership. You see, the roofing and restoration market is full of transactional focused companies. The storm hits, they knock your doors, they close the deals, they cash the checks, and then they move on to the next storm to find the next individual. And that is the transaction business, and the transaction business is a live by or die by the overall storm calendar. And I have to tell you, within this industry, this industry specific, the overall roofing industry, This distinction is overall everything. You see, the roofing and restoration market, in my opinion, is a full transactional focused business, especially for storm chasers. A storm hits, they knock boards, they close deals, they cash checks, they move on to the next overall storm. And that is a transactional business, a transaction business to live and die by the overall storm. A transformation business is overall different. You see, a transformation business shows up and asks, how do I make the experience better for the overall homeowner than they've ever even expected? How do I educate them so they can make a genuinely informed overall decision? How do I protect them from the contractors who will take advantage of them? How do I personally leave the neighborhood with a reputation that outlasts the overall storm, becoming a pillar within the community? And you see, when I look at our overall own growth, the inflection points never came from learning slicker sales script. They came from genuinely helping homeowners navigate and understand the confusing, stressful process that this can bring about, educating them on the proper scope of work, protecting them from the shortcuts, being the contractor who showed up for the re-inspection with the overall adjuster to assure that they understood the overall process from A to Z at a very high level. So as you can see, the overall process that Zig was teaching here when working with people within the restoration business is leading with value for them to understand the overall process in order to derive the solution for the problem that they themselves are experiencing. So overall, there's a deeper lesson here on top of this that Zig himself was teaching. And I don't want you to overall miss this. So you see, success is not a destination that you pursue directly. It's just a byproduct. You see, it's what happens on the other side of becoming genuinely valuable to the people that you serve. This is why the most successful people you know are almost never the ones who talk the most about making money. They're the ones who obsessed over their craft, who stayed late, not just for the paycheck, but because the problem wasn't yet solved and they wanted to derive the overall solution. They're the ones that gave their best work before anyone asked them to. You see, success followed them, and it's because they were never too busy creating the overall value to just slow down, deliver that value rather than chase it. So, I always ask, if you're struggling right now, I need you to do a couple things. Stop asking, what can I get today? And start asking, who can I help today? Who in my pipeline actually needs the guidance right now, not just a specific pitch you've been working on? Who on my team needs development, not just overall direction? And then ask yourself, what homeowner is confused about their overall claim and needs someone to sit them down, add value, and walk them through it so they better understand it? And when you make that your obsession, overall just adding value, serving people, solving problems, the scorecard will then take care of itself. You see, Zig Ziglar himself, he built a massive legacy that has outlasted the generation that he spoke to. His books today still sell. His records still move people. His quotes still hang on the overall walls, even my wall itself. And why? Because he wasn't selling motivation. He was teaching an overall law. And the marketplace itself rewards value. Relationships reward value. Leadership rewards value. So stop chasing success and start chasing significance. The significance of being someone who genuinely improves the lives of the people all around them. And I promise you, you will be overall stunned at how much success decides to follow you. So here's the overall challenge today. I want you to go ahead and take out a piece of paper and write down a specific person, a specific homeowner, a specific team member, a specific neighbor, someone that you can add real tangible value to before this particular week is over. I don't want you to just go like a post, not a generic check-in text. I want you to add real value, real help, and overall real service. Do that consistently and watch what Zig knew all along, and it will turn out exactly the right way for you. Now go ahead and drop in your comments some of the best quotes that you yourself love from Zig Ziglar, some of the teachings. My number one overall is adding value to the marketplace. And you see, as I've really had the ability to walk you through this overall metric of the purpose of adding value, the marketplace rewards value. So the sales is easy here. Here in roofing, everyone has a roof. It's not a problem at the time, but it can become a problem. So our goal is to be there when the problem arises, help educate the homeowner to best understand the overall solution, put the step-by-step into a contract to where we both understand the necessary means of what it is that we're committing to, and then by deriving that solution and the overall sales experience, then creates the value we offer, which in return gives us the reward. And so it means we're just here to be that overall source for when things get tough. We're here to guide you through. We're here to calm down the rough seas and put you in a smooth sailing type mindset to know that you're working with the right company at the right place at the right time to do what it is that you need to get done. He's made me understand that sales in itself is not a transactional means of a way to make wealth. Sales is just a vehicle for you to pursue to become a better person tomorrow than you were today. And by becoming who it is that you want to become, Zig Ziglar is one of the best people that can educate you to get to that better tomorrow. Tune in, like, subscribe. I love you all. Let's keep cranking.